Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is YAHMAD. So in this video we will continue paper 2, February-March 2021 from the CIE ICT IGCSE course. If you check out the previous video, I've completed a document production part, and in this video we will be doing data manipulation, which is going to be databases. So this is probably the more challenging aspect of paper 2, the database section. But hopefully with a bit of revision you'll see pretty much every year it's the same sorts of questions which are coming up. Okay, so I've come down to page 5, task 3, database. You are now going to prepare some reports for the science department. Make sure all currency values display the same currency symbol and are set to 2 decimal places. So you can use the same currency or you can choose your own currency, but you need to make sure it's the same currency applied throughout this work. Right, so before we start, what we need to do is we need to open up a new database file. I'm using Microsoft Access, so you can right click, select Microsoft Access database, choose a name. It doesn't matter what name you give it as long as it's appropriate. And typically how we start the database task is to import some CSV files. Okay, so the first file that we're going to be importing is going to be M21 stores, which is this file here. We've got the data types of field names and data types here. First 3 fields will be set to text, and the next 4 fields will be numeric. The net price is going to be set to 2 decimal places and will be displayed with a currency symbol. Okay, so let's go ahead and import the first table. So click on external data. You may see text file here depending on which version of Access you are using. I need to click on new data source, from file, text file, browse, and then if you go to your source folder, February, March, files, you will find the first CSV that we need to import. Press OK, next. Tick first row contains field names, because these are field names going across, and then these are the individual records within the database. So we've got product, product code, supplier code, which is the same, all text. If you click on advanced, you'll see, the first 3 is set to text. Net price is set to double, which basically means this will contain a decimal number. So don't change anything at this point. Press OK, next, next. Set the product code as a primary key, so that was what I was looking for. So the product code is unique for each record. Finish. So what we need to do is now display net price as a currency. So this is something that needs to be looked at. Okay, so if you go to Home, Design View, so you can see it's a decimal number, the rest of them are integers, whole numbers. So net price contains decimal values and it's in a double format. So what we do in the format here is we select currency, and by default you'll see the currency value and the decimal values have also been saved as well. Okay, so we've done that, and for now evidence 4, we need to take a screenshot to show the primary key, field names and data types used in this table. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So wait, cancel. Let me just open up Access, go to Design View, take the screenshot showing the format of this field is set to currency. Copy. Move that down to the next page. Save. Right, now what we need to do is examine and import the file m21 supplies.csv. So in this case I'm going to actually look at this CSV file. Looks like all the fields are text. and there's a telephone field, but normally a telephone field is also set to text. The reason why is because it's never used for calculations. So this table looks like all of the data types will be formatted to text. Okay, so let's import the suppliers table. Browse suppliers. Next, first row contains field names, and if you look here, everything's set to text. I'm also going to change telephone to short text as well, since in past exam papers I have seen telephone formatted as short text, and the main reason being because it's not going to be used as a calculation. Press OK. Next. Do we have a primary key? So set the supply code as a primary key. Yeah. Next and finish. Save the data, and then for evidence 5, take a screenshot evidence to show the primary key field, field names and data types used in this table, and place this into your evidence document. So go to suppliers, design view, and we can copy and paste this into evidence 5. Okay, for question 14, we now need to create a columnar data entry form with all the fields in the supplies table to display one record at a time. We need to apply 4 features to this form to make the design user-friendly. So the features we could include could be to add color, maybe navigation buttons. We can make some of the fonts or text bold, right? Some of the field names. We can choose different colors for the text and for the background, and we can also include instructions. Okay, so let's go ahead and make the data entry form for this table. So create form wizard, select suppliers from the list, select all the fields, next, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write a suitable title for this form. So product suppliers form. Oh, let's just put data entry form. Okay, so that could be one feature, the title. Okay, finish. And what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to edit now this form. I want to increase the size of this text. Okay, and this is one feature. Let's make this. I think we're better off just making it black. And if I click on the back part of this, you can choose the back color. As you can see here, this comes up. Let's choose this here. Okay, so now I'm going to click the back part of this, and we're going to choose like a little bit of a darker shade, or maybe we can have a darker shade at the top. So let me choose darker shade. So it's up to you guys what colors you want to use. And then I'm going to press down Control and select the fields. Okay, back color. Let's go for like a little bit darker. We're going to make the text bold. We're going to make the text black so it stands out a little bit better. Okay, and if you want to increase the size of the field names, you can do as well. So what I've done so far is I've added a title. That could be one feature. Another feature could be the colors. Another feature could be the fact that we formatted the text, the head of the field names. Okay, something else that we could say is we're making these boxes a little bit smaller. Let me just save this and let's look at this here. So the supply code is only going to be 3 letters, and you can see the company name and address fields are quite long. So if we go back to here, design view, so the company name and address, we're going to leave it this size, and then the town, postcode and telephone numbers, we are going to decrease the boxes. Okay, so there we go. So if I go to preview, form view, and you can go forwards and backwards down here, guys. Let's just see if all of the information fits. Okay, so yes, it does. I'm going to. You can make this a bit smaller as well. Doesn't have to be as big. Okay, and what I'm going to do is add some labels, and this could be seen as another feature. So if you click on this icon up here, enter free letter code, enter 3 letters. I'm just going to write some instructions for the supplier code. And please, some more prompts as well, please fill in the remaining fields. Okay, so we've got some information there. So what we're going to do is maybe change the back color of this so it stands out a little bit. The last thing we're going to include to make this, so if you go back to the question paper, more user friendly, is to have navigation buttons. So if I go to form design, you see you can click on this icon here. Sometimes it includes XXXX. We can include all types of buttons. So maybe to go to the first record, this one here, next, 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 finish. To go to the last record, this one here, next, next, finish. And to go backwards and forwards just to once. Next, 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 finish. And next record, finish. So here on these buttons we're showing the icons. You can also show text on the buttons as well. So, whoopsie daisy. So we've got the buttons, and now what we're going to do is add some more buttons. Whoops, no. Draw the box out for the buttons. If you go to record operations, maybe you can have a button to add a new record, and rather than displaying the icon, maybe you want to show the text instead. So you can click on that option there. Okay, so that's to add a new record, and maybe we want to have another button which will close the form. Text, finish. Okay, so I think we've got more than 4 features there. So we have the title. Let me just change the back color so it stands out. Okay, there's our title. There we go. We got so title. We got colors. We've formatted field names so that they're nice and bold and they stand out. We've adjusted the size of the fields so the data they're not too big, taking up too much unnecessary space. we've got some information here. So enter 3 letters for the supplier code and please fill in the remaining fields, so like a prompt on what we need to do. Then we also have the navigation buttons. You can go forwards one at a time. You can go to the first record, go to the first one, go to the last one, and then again you can go backwards and forwards. Okay, let me save the changes. And using the form, or use the form to enter this data as a new record. Okay, so we need to add a new record. So we have this button here which we can click. You can see a new number has been created, number 13. And let me just enter this information. So guys, if you are copying this information, please make sure you're not making any spelling mistakes. You're copying this information as it's shown in the exam paper. Okay, so the second address. Oh, you can, yeah, I'm not sure why it was going on the second line. I'm just pressing backspace to move that like that. But obviously if the address, company names was a little bit longer, it can go into the second line, so that's why I've increased the size of these boxes. And finally the telephone number. Save the changes. So if I close this form now, actually before I close, evidence 6, take a screenshot evidence of the form with the new record displayed and place this in your evidence document. So what I need to do is go to here. Copy into evidence 6. So what we can do is let's move evidence 6 onto the next page. And this is done. So if you were to go back, guys, so let me save that again. If I open up the suppliers table, we should see now 13 records. Okay, so the new record has been added. TPS. So it's not necessarily at the bottom, guys. It's this one here. So TPS, and yeah, paint supplies. This one here. Okay, question 15. We now need to make a one-to-many relationship between a supply code in a suppliers table and a suppliers code in a stores table. Okay, so to create the relationship, close down any tables you have open, go to database tools, click on relationships, and add both of the tables shown. So it's going to be the primary key from this table here, which is going to be linked to the foreign key in the stores table. You can click on create. Okay, good. Okay, so what we have is a one-to-many relationship, and I'll explain more in a second. Actually, let's take the evidence first, and then I'll talk about the one-to-many relationship between the two different codes. Okay, so for evidence 7, place in your evidence document a screenshot showing a type of relationship between tables. Let me double click on this line here as well. So it's a one-to-many relationship, and I'll explain a little bit more in a second how that works. Okay, so you can see the link between the two supplier codes. Save the changes. And if I now close this, press OK, close, save the changes. So here is a supplier. Okay. Okay, these are all blank. Yeah. So this supplier is supplying many products. Okay, so these are different products. So this supplier, one supplier can supply many different types of products. So this is where the one-to-many relationship comes from. Okay, so this supplier's got quite a few products. This supplier's only got 2 products, so it could be one-to-many. Okay, so one supplier providing many products. So all of the products are in here, and the products are linked by the supplier code. So obviously it's a primary key here which links to the foreign key in this table here. Okay, that's that done. Done. Okay. Right. We're now up to the first query report type of question. Okay, so there's normally 2 of these in the paper. Okay, so this is now where things get a little bit more trickier. So question 16, using fields from the suppliers table, create labels. So we are going to be creating labels. So a label is a type of report. Before we can get to the actual report aspect of this question, we need to do the query. In a query, we can select the fields which will be used and add any search criteria. So you can see here I've annotated the bullet points. Green aspects will be done in the report, and a yellow aspects will be done in a query, and a query is done before the report. So before we start, let me create a new query, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to select these fields for the query initially. So create query wizard, press OK. So from the suppliers, company name, address 1, address 2, town and postal code, and telephone. Next, and you can give it, call it label if you want. Okay, so we have a query for labels, and if you click on that query, we have 13 records so far. Okay, what we want to do is show only the records where the company name contains Torah. I can never say this, Torah, if I'm saying it right. So the company name here, so you can see we have these records here which contain that. Okay, so what we need to do is, let me just copy that. You go to design view, get rid of all these extra boxes, and you need to put right here star, and then what we're looking for, star. So what this does is basically finds anything in that field that contains Torah, if I'm saying it right. Okay, run, and we have 8 records, which is what we typically would have for labels. Okay, done. Sorted into ascending order of company name. I think I could do that in the label wizard. So let's save this. Let's go to create and click on labels. Okay, so we've done the query aspect of this. We created a query where we selected the fields, and we've done our search criteria. Now the rest of the things we can do in the report wizard, and once we've finished with the report wizard. So we need to arrange the labels into 2 columns, 4 rows and 8 labels. Okay, so we can select 2 for now. The first option would be fine. Next. Okay, so that's that done. Show only the fields, company name, address. So all of these will be in this order, each on a separate line. Okay. And what we want is a header center aligned at the top called approved supplier. So first of all, I'm going to write the heading. Okay, and it says here show only the fields. So we don't need to display the field name, it's just asking for the fields itself. So company name on a separate line, address 1, next line, address 2, next line, town, next line, postal code, next line, telephone. Okay, so we've got the fields, okay, only being displayed, and your name, center number, and candidate number on the left at the bottom of each label. So we can put that information in now as well. So my name, center number 5678, candidate number 1234. Next, okay, what do we sort by? Sort into ascending order of company name. Okay, so let's click on next. Change that name to labels and click on finish. Okay, so what we have is 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows and 4 rows. So we got the 4 labels, but what we need to do is we need to have this in a larger font at the top of each label. Okay, so if I click on this heading here, I can increase this into a larger font. And does it have to be center aligned? Okay, yeah. So let me just move these boxes down. Just make more space for this. Make it center aligned at the top of the label. So print preview. So we got this center aligned, and then we also have the rest of the information shown as well. So, and the name is at the bottom. So let me double check we've done this right. So the company name contains 2 hours, which we did in a query. It's sorted, ascending order of company name. Yeah, that looks fine. Okay. These fields appear on a separate line. We've got a heading right, we've got a name right, and I think we're done with the labels. Okay, so now let's move forward on to the next question. So obviously once you've finished with your labels, you can print them out. So let me just open up the labels again. And when you do print them out, if you go to print preview, you'll see the labels appear in 2 columns. Check to see if your name appears on the label and then go ahead and print. Right. Okay. Just before I do move forward, actually just one thing. If you are in design view, then if you go to normal view, you'll see the 2 columns are not shown, which is normal. The columns will be shown in the print preview. So yeah, that's something to bear in mind. Okay, if your labels are not fitting, so if you can have for some reason 8 labels not fit into one page, you need to adjust this size here. So for example, I've increased the size here. Now if I go to print preview, you'll see on one page we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 labels only. So we need 8 labels. So it may be a case you have to adjust this space here to ensure all 8 labels are fit into one page. So we've got 2 columns, 4 rows. Okay, that's fine. Done. Done. Okay, so now we're going to start the next question. Okay, so question 17, using fields from both tables, produce a tabular report. So again, we have to create a report, but before we create a report, we have to create the query questions first. So in yellow are the query bullet points, and then in green are the green bullet points for the report tasks. Okay, in this question here, we have 2 calculations which we need to complete. This question here is a new type of question which I've not seen before, which we'll have a look at in a moment. But before we start, let's create the query wizard. You need to select fields from the tables. Okay. We need to select these fields here. Show only the fields company name, product. Company name, product, net price, reorder number. order value and order now are going to be two fields that we create up here. Okay, so we've added the fields we requested and two fields we have to create. So let me double check. 1, 2, 3, 4 fields only. Yeah. Next. When you get to this point here, guys, include the title, which will go at the top of your report. So report title is here. Okay, and you can include the title here. Finish and have a look to see how many records we are starting with. So 432. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to, actually no I'm not, supply code is tests. Okay, so we're going to do the filter first on this field. So supply code is tests, but I've just realized I have to do something else in a minute. So let's add supply code, and you can see now we have the supply codes and we are searching for tests. Click on run. We've got tests. So we're now down to 76 records, which is fine. We don't want to show that query, or sorry, that field. We're still down to 76. I can't do this one here, guys, until I've finished creating the new field. Okay, so order now, which is going to be part of this question, is -1. Okay, so I have to come back to this, so let me just change the color to like a blue now. So I need to come back to this. I'm not finished. What we're going to do next is to create the new fields. So the first bullet point is fairly straightforward. It contains a new field called order value, which is calculated at runtime. This field will calculate the value of the net price multiplied by the reorder number. So these two are fields that need to be multiplied together. Okay, so if we go to design view, click here. Guys, what I'm going to do now is just use the builder. I have used this sometimes in past exam papers. I'm going to use it again. So we want to build this. So this field will calculate the value of the net price multiplied by the reorder number. So these are both fields. So net price multiplied by the reorder number. And if you press OK, you've got the formula here. And before the colon, what you can do is you can insert the name of the field, so order value. Okay, let's click on run, and you can see we have an order value here. This field will calculate the value of the net price multiplied by the reorder number. Okay, so what we're going to do, let's make this into currency first of all. Because this is it's including a currency value, net price. So let me change this to currency. So format currency, 2 decimal places. It should be 2 by default anyway. But we've done that one. So order value is basically net price multiplied by reorder number. So these two multiplied together. Okay, so we've done the first calculated field, and we're now going to create a second field. So the second one, let me just read the question really quickly. It contains a new field called order now, which is calculated at runtime. This field will calculate whether the number available is less than or equal to the minimum stock. Okay, so this is going to return a boolean, okay, and it's going to be either 0 or -1, okay, true or false. Okay, so let's go ahead and make the calculation. So I'm going to use the builder again, and what we need to check to see is, if we go back to here, whether the number available, this is a field since it's italic, so available, let me select available. I'm going to type it in actually since it's not showing here. Okay, so that's the available field. And what we want to see is if it's less than or equal, so sorry, if it's less than or equal to, so let me just highlight that in a different color. So that's a logical test. Okay, it's like an if statement. If it's less than or equal to which field? The min stock. Okay. Close the brackets. So it's like a condition we're checking to see. Let me just press OK for now. Let me type in the name of this field. So it's order. Whoops. See daisy order now. Oh my gosh. Right. Let me type this in. Order underscore now. Okay. So this, what we're doing here is like a if statements if this was Excel. So if this is less than, if available is less than or equal to the min stock, we will return, if it's true, we will return -1 if that's true. So if available is less than or equal to min stock, and if it's true, we return -1. Okay. If it's not true, we return a 0. What I'm going to do, guys, just to show you how this works, is I'm going to add those fields. So let me see, let me add available and in stock, and let's click on run. Okay, so we are checking to see if available is less than or equal to the min stock here. This is not true in the first example, so it's 0. Let's go down to where we see a -1, where it is true. So here, in this example here, 12 is less than or equal to the min stock. So this is true, and -1 is shown. So it's a Boolean expression. Okay, so let's get rid of these two fields. We don't need to show them. So here's the two calculated fields that we've created. Okay, and if I go back to here now, so we've done that. I hope that makes sense, guys. So it's like an if statement. Okay. So the second search criteria is order is -1. So if the condition was true, so if the condition is or this is equal to -1, so this is basically where the available is less than or equal to the minimum stock number. So we need to order it now, basically, and we're now down to 30 records. Okay, so that's now done. So let's just highlight that as in yellow. Okay, so I think we are now ready to move on to the report task. Okay, so we've got the query, selected the fields, we've entered the search criteria, we've added 2 new fields. Okay, save the changes. Let's go to create and report wizard. Select all of the fields. Next. Okay, we don't want to group the data. So let me change this to green now. So what we do here is just select the second table, so all of the fields are separate like this, not grouped by company name. So we want to show the fields like this. Next. The page orientation is landscape. Or before we get to that point, do we have a sort? So sort the data into ascending order of product. So product is ascending. Next, and the page orientation is landscape. Next, we need to include this title at the top of the report. Okay, and then finish. Okay, so once we've done that, we now need to put the fields into the into the right order. Okay, so product should be the second field. We need to make sure fields in the right order and the labels are displayed in full. So this is what we're going to do now. Okay, so if I go to layout view, just move that across there. Company name comes first. Okay, then the product, then the net price, and then reorder number, order value, and order now. So let me go to print preview and check to see, zoom out a little bit, let's see what we can see. So 1 page wide, and it could be 2 pages tall. So if you look at the question, guys, it says fits on a single page wide. So that basically means all of the fields going across, but the records can be printed on 2 pages tall. That's fine, that's normal. I'm just checking to see nothing's cut off, everything's showing, so we've got the same currency. Okay, good. Calculate the total value of the ordered items and position this number below the order value column. So we need to basically calculate the total value of the ordered items. So we need to add up all of this. So we highlight this column, we go to total, and then we click on sum, and that's the total down here at the bottom. Okay, and has a label net value of this order to the left of this number. So if I go to design view, design label, okay, so we got the label to the left. Make sure you type it in exactly as it's shown, okay, on the question paper. Now we need to calculate the VAT on the net value of this order at a rate of 20% and position this value below the calculated value of the net value of this order. So underneath here we need to work out 20%. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste this. Okay, so of this order we need to work out 20%. So what we can do is we can multiply this by 0.2, and then has a label VAT on this order here. Okay, so 0 to 0.2 will work out 20%. Let me include the label. Fingers crossed, let's see if this has worked. Yes. Okay, so that's the order amount and that's the VATs, so that should be 20% of this. Yeah, that looks right to me. What I'm going to do is just going to, I think, we will have to evidence, yeah, place evidence 8, place in your evidence document screenshots showing the formula used to calculate the net value and the VAT on this order. So let me take a screenshot showing these two formulas, and then I'll just fix it so they're aligned a little bit better. So this is evidence 8, I think it is. Save. Okay, done. No, I don't want to. Oh, I think I've closed the snipping tool. Let me just make this a bit smaller. And if I go back to print preview, I'm hoping on the second page Yeah, that's a bit better, isn't it? Let's just move it more to the right hand side. Yeah, happy with that. Okay, so let's see if we are done. So we worked out a total. Okay, net value of this order. Okay, so that was a total and that was a label, and then VAT was 20% of the total order, which we've done, and we also have this label here as well. Okay, so that's all done. The last thing we need to do is include a name, center number and candidate number displayed at the bottom left of every page of the report. Okay, make sure you've entered your name, center number and candidate number on the report. So what we need to do now is to go to the page footer. I'm just going to move, there's no information about alignment. So this is a page footer, so if you insert anything here, this will appear on every single page. So sometimes they may ask you to delete other components of the footer, like these two, but in this example we're not being asked, so we can leave it as it is. That's my name, center number, and then candidate number. Print preview. That's my name here, and there's my name second. Okay, so that's done. This was quite a tricky question, if I'm being honest. I think more complicated than ones I've seen in the past, but we've come to the end, thankfully. Right, so for question 18, I think this is the last part of the database section. We need to export the report created in step 17. So let me just click on save. Let me click on close, close. So here's the report. We need to export it as a PDF into your work area and then show a screenshot that we've done this. Okay, so if I right click on this report, we can go to export as a PDF. We can go to our source folder, we can click on publish, click on close, and then what we need to do is show this in our evidence document. I've closed down the snipping tool, didn't I? Let me open up the snipping tool. And copy this into the next evidence, evidence 9. Save. Yep, and that's that done. That was a tricky database section, I think. Yep, so if you join me in the next video, we will be doing a mail merge section of this paper. Thank you for your time, guys. Drop your comments below. Please like, share and subscribe. Good luck if you have exams coming up soon. Thank you for your time once again. Take care. Bye bye.